we go. Right, ladies and gents, episode 4 of Hangry, Caveman. We got Hani and Sim.
Hi.
How are you both doing?
Not bad.
Not bad. Sim's chilling.
Yeah. Yes,
Yeah.
good. Easter weekend, right? Big plans, obviously.
And what are those plans? Staying in and doing what exactly? Baking?
No, not baking. I think you're on the next Bake Off, I hear.
Trust me, by the time I'm out of this COVID-19, I will be a baker. I'm not sure about breads, because I can't. Yesterday I tried to make focaccia and it looked nice as it was going into the oven. By the time it was out, it was an absolute briccaccio. It was like a brick. I had to throw it away.
Okay.
Is everyone
All
doing
right,
the
so
same
no Bake
thing?
Off.
I'm making my own live yeast at the moment. I'm trying to do a sourdough.
Yeah, I've watched so many videos and recipes, but I haven't got to that one yet. But I'm baking cakes. It's doing fine.
Something's different. What have you done?
Oh, yesterday I was combing my hair and I realized it's getting really long, and I was like, hey, I'm going to be locked in for the next 3 to probably 4 months. So I just had a haircut, and luckily it didn't turn out a bit. I mean, it's a bit uneven here, but yeah, I gave myself a haircut.
Are you going to go into the whole Britney Spears situation, or you?
Right. With the rate that it's going, I'm not surprised. And it's good for the jiu-jitsu, I don't have to tie my hair back constantly. So
that's another thing I found. When I had my long hair, playing jiu-jitsu is just annoying.
You had long hair.
Yeah, I had really long hair, longer than both of you.
Oh my god!
All right. So at this point, you're gonna put in like a little throwback picture, right? Of you.
Yeah, there'll be pictures around somewhere in the cloud. There are loads.
How many years ago does it go back to?
I think I cut it out about 3 years ago, probably.
So you haven't seen that. Yeah, I joined Fight City 2 years ago, so I haven't seen you with long hair.
I cut it off way before I came over.
Ah, cool. Cool.
And Sim, what have you been up to?
Well, not much. I have been working a lot, so work is actually really busy. So, I have to log on every day and.
What is work?
Yeah.
What is
work?
Yeah.
So I'm a corporate strategist, and I do corporate development and asset management in the city.
Okay.
Sounds fun.
whatever that means. But work is really it's really busy, and it's full on at the moment. And yeah, so I've been doing that and try to somehow keep sane and keep some sort of routine, like having an office upstairs and having life downstairs and still trying to exercise a little bit. I feel a little bit unbalanced with not training anymore. Probably you guys feel the same. I'm used to seeing you in the gym, 4 to 6 times a week or something, and rolling around on the mat.
I think
with
most of
Hani.
the people I've been speaking to over these last lockdown period, everyone's gone the same. None of us are used to not being able to train and move and just go out and do things. I mean, it is a big different lifestyle, isn't it, compared to what we're used to.
Yeah,
and you try to grab the next best thing, right? So I try every morning to get up and go for a run, but because I hate running, I really hate it. But I try to get my 5K in the morning because I'm dreading the moment.
You can't hate running that much, then. You're running 5K.
Yeah, but you gotta do it.
It's like it takes half hour. It's not,
So you don't
even
like that much, then?
Painful. No, I hate it. I proper hate it. But the thing is also, I have to do it. I wake up in the morning, I jump out of bed, and I go for a run immediately because I need to get it over and done with. As soon as I have time to think about it, then I won't do it. Right. Because I really don't like it. Whereas, like, if it's, go train at home, it's like, yeah.
YouTube, morning, straight out of bed to train is the worst time for me.
Yeah, but I think I agree with what Sim said. I've been it is my 4th week at home, which is I've gone from training 6 days a week, 2 hours a day, living at Fight City, to literally nothing. So mentally, it's very challenging for me. And as you said, for most of us that do jiu-jitsu, it's just so unnatural to our current habits and what we used to. But I'm going back to what Sim said. I've noticed if I don't get up in the morning, I hate running. I have hated with a vengeance.
Yeah.
But I've realized it's the only way of me getting off the house. And if I don't do it in the morning, I won't do it in the day. It is impossible.
So I've got like this image of you doing the whole Rocky Balboa running down the street and skipping to yourself and just looking at
everyone's like, this.
But there's no one to look at. But yeah.
Yeah. No, but I think I've managed to. I think it's 2 weeks that I managed to do it. So I'm doing 3 sets of running. Doesn't matter what days it is, as long as there's a gap day in between of 8K. It's just when I say 8K, is time is not an issue for me. For me, it's the distance to make sure I cover that 8K. Mm-hmm. And the other 3 days, I've started doing some of your videos, the mobilization one, because I've got a really bad shoulder injury and it's not going anywhere. And since yesterday, I've started this 10,000 kettlebell swing challenge. I'm sure you've heard about this. So it's done in 20 days, and you cover 500 reps, 500 swings in a session. It is insane. And few people are doing it at the moment, and it helps you to improve your grip strength, and create a better.
I would like to see how quickly your grip strength deteriorates over the next 20 days.
But you take your time. I think this is my 2nd day, so I'll let me tell you in about a week or so, or after like 10, when I get to halfway. But a few people are doing it, and I don't know if it's a craze that everybody wants to do something crazy over this COVID-19.
Remember the challenge a few years back and the squat 30 a day challenge thing. So you got a kettlebell to train with, though, right?
Yeah, it was 12K. I think slightly light. And I've been trying to buy a more heavier one, and the price that the kettlebells are available, it's ridiculous. A 16K kettlebell, it's £90. So I thought, no, thank you. I'm sticking to my 12.
All right.
So yeah.
Sim, you been training? What have you been training? Just running?
I've just done the running. I had one session with Hani, where Hani, can I tell this? Where we basically virtually met up and did a boxercise class together, where we press play on YouTube at the same time and like video called each other to just hold each other accountable, and we're just hopping around in our living rooms at the same time.
I loved it.
It was not bad, wasn't it? I mean, the next day I was a bit sore.
No, it was good because I think I felt like, okay, I'm gonna be locked in. I'm one of those that I resist change. Once a change is introduced in my life, I'm like, no, I don't want this. I don't want to do it. Yeah. And I resist as much as I can. But it comes to a point that I'm like, okay, it is what it is. I have to give in and I have to do something about it. So since the day that we done that workout together, I was like, okay, maybe this is it. Maybe I'm going to be locked in. So I went for a run the day after. So I think since that day that we did that workout together, it was crazy, and we were jumping around living room. Yeah, it was a good start. It was a good start.
Yeah. Aside from that, I've managed to buy some mats that I can put up in my living room. And my husband is a willing training partner. He's never done jiu-jitsu. He's more of a kickboxer, but he is a very enthusiastic UFC watcher. So
as long as he watches UFC, everyone's a jiu-jitsu artist when they watch UFC.
Yeah, and he knows the basics and everything, although he's never done them. But he lets me drill on him, which is good. He doesn't like being choked so much. He's not used to being choked. He taps real early.
Get used to it.
Get used to it.
It'll turn out to be fun somehow.
Yeah, it is actually fun to do together. So
of course.
But that's it in terms of the extent of training, to be honest, which is unfortunate.
So, jiu-jitsu. Hani's representing ZR today.
I know. I thought if I can train one as well, the rash got. Basically, I just wanted to make sure that I can still fit into it, because I'm baking something every 3 to 4 days. My next door neighbor is this 80-year-old lady that she lives on her own, so she takes half of my cakes, but I tend to eat them. So I just wanted to make sure I fit into it, and I thought, God, I still, I'm lucky.
I thought you were going to say something like, "Oh, the 80-year-old grandma comes, knocks on your door, and give you 2 meatballs like they did on the wedding."
No, I've done a couple of rounds of shopping for it, but in terms of jiu-jitsu, I've ordered myself a jiu-jitsu dummy. arrived on Amazon 3 weeks ago, and I spent an entire day on Saturday, fill the damn thing in.
Yeah.
And I've been doing a couple of drills with a dummy, I call it Rex, because his arms are so short and he's got such long legs. It's better than nothing, but I really miss training more than anything. And that's the first thing I'll do if I ever get out of this lockdown. Back on the mat, training, sparring with whoever I can find.
Man, training right now, I mean, I don't know how jiu-jitsu guys are all dealing with life right now.
I think they're going crazy slowly. I try to speak to everyone just to see how everybody else how everybody else is doing. Because if you think about it, we belong to a group. It was a community, a few of us. Oh, it's actually 10 of us, give or take, that we go to the same classes. We see each other on the same day, same time, week after week. And not to be able to do that anymore. I think you miss people, and then you miss training more than anything. And it's hard. So I speak to most of them, and it seems like everybody's struggling, which is a good sign. So you don't think I'm not the only one going crazy. It's happening to everybody else. But you need to hang in there. Do whatever it takes to come out of this.
I think especially for those people where jiu-jitsu and training really is their whole life, it's their career, and and if you can't do this anymore, you literally have nothing to fill your day with, which sounds amazing at first, but then you think, what are you going to do all day if you're locked in? And I feel grateful to a degree that I have to work all day, because otherwise I'm not sure. I think I'd go crazy.
Man, I was going crazy. Before I start doing this, my day was empty. My mind was running everywhere. It was just typical lockdown, stressing out about everything else, work and everything. This kind of puts my head into a better place right now.
Yeah, and there's the emotional stress that's attached to all of this, isn't there? In terms of how long is this going to go on? What does that mean economically for everyone? Financially, what is the future going to look like? And I really feel for all those people that are feeling the financial pressure at the moment.
Yeah. It's going to be a long ladder to climb back up anyway.
But I think the good thing about it is, like, everybody's in this together. I was reading how 2.6 billion people are on some sort of a lockdown across the world, and we are essentially taking part in the biggest psychological experiment that nobody knows what the outcome is. I think if we are allowed to be out within the next 3 to 6 months, I'm sure people will be reporting a lot of issues related to their well-being, the anxiety, the depression, the lack of sleep, the fact that, as Tim said, you're uncertain. Are we going to be locked in for the next 2 to 3 weeks to 8 weeks to 10 weeks? Are we allowed in June? What's going to happen to us? So I think as much as government's trying to deal with COVID-19 and find a way or virus to tackle this stuff, I think people should be started thinking about the next wave of mental health issues that's going to be the outcome of this lockdown. And it's tough. I think I'm lucky enough that I live around not far away from my family. I still get to see my mom. I have a neighbor, but I really worry about people that they live on their own, just locked in their own homes. So I made myself a COVID police. I text people randomly saying, "Hey, do you need any food? Are you okay?" Just to make sure you stay in touch with people. But it's got to be a long run before we get back to normal life, or if there is such a thing as normal life after this.
Yeah, it's going to be a weird one when we start going back out again.
As long as we get to train, I don't care.
I
do not care.
We all say that. How many % of people, right, is going to come straight back to training, even though we want to, right? There's still going to be a percentage of people who's going to be a bit reluctant due to this whole COVID. We are doing a close combat sport.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say, for example, I probably won't come back straight away, just because I'm in this really horrible situation where my mom had emergency surgery this week. They're in Munich. I'm here. I've tried to book so many flights to go and look after them, and all my flights keep getting cancelled. And my parents are quite old. They're very sick. They're frail, and they're not coping very well. And they're alone in Germany. So as soon as the lockdown ends, I'm on the first plane to Germany. But even, I tried, how can I even get there in this situation? A few people were saying, oh, you should drive. In Germany, my cousin told me yesterday in Bavaria, if you're caught outside your, what's allowed during the lockdown, which is a lot more strict than here, they can fine you up to 25,000 euros. So
you guys don't mess around.
We don't. The Germans love a good rule.
Yeah, but look at the death rate in Germany. It's amazing. I think there's this Chronostats website that I check most days just to see what the death rate is. What's happening? Is this curve flattening at some point or not? And Germany seems to be doing so well out of the ones in comparison to the UK, France, Italy, and Spain. They're doing so well. So maybe we need that sort of restrictions at the moment.
Well, we should have some sort of restriction like that. It's just people.
I think it's not just the restrictions, though. I mean, Germany has, I think 4 times as many ventilators as the UK has. They've been a lot better about testing. That's much more readily available. The government was a lot more direct with making decisions rather than fluffing around like, Downing Street did. So I think it comes down to all sorts of factors there.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, I think you got to stay positive. I mean, that's what I said to one of my friends. She rang me yesterday and she was crying, saying, "I want to get out. I don't know what's happening to us." And I said, "Listen, it's not you. It's just not you. It's everybody else. We're alive. We're healthy. We have enough food, and we have a shelter above our heads. So the only way to you can last through this is just stay positive. Not sure how long this positive is going to last, but there's no other way.
How this is going to get played out. But as long as things like this is happening, people still communicating, people still finding ways to move, to train, just to communicate. I think we'll be all right for now.
Yeah, and life could always be worse because we could be having children that we have to homeschool. So I think I'm still on the very good end of this.
Yeah, we could be in that boat, exactly.
Could have done with a dog though. I always wanted a dog, and this time would have been a perfect time for me.
Having a dog is no different to having
Currently, Betsy Cats and Dogs is empty. They have no more pets, I hear. I don't know if it's true, but that's what I heard. And I just really hope that it's not like Christmas, that a pet is not for a pandemic, it's for life.
No, I promise you, once this is over, everybody's going to hand over their pets. It's going to be like a huge surge of abandoned pets, cats and dogs in the city. So
if that's the case, I think you're right, Hani. I think they will just abandon them. Humans are a bad species.
You're evil.
I agree with that.
You are evil.
Oh man. So Hani, let's go into BJJ.
Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah.
Actually, my mom saw this wearing this around the house yesterday, and she was like, "I love the design. Well, I love the color." And I was like, "I let Alan know that it's a nice design. You actually like it." Yeah, Jiu-Jitsu.
Where did that come from for you?
The gentle art. So how did I get into Jiu-Jitsu? It's a long story.
Both of you.
I joined Fight City Gym about 2.5 years ago after going from Paris Boot Camp to Core Box to One Rebel. And I was one of those hip training bunny girls running on the treadmill. I always loved to lift. So always for me, that's the best form of exercise. And I was introduced to Fight City Gym through a work colleague, Ben. I'm sure you know him, guy. And he said, if you like boxing, you should come to this place. They do proper boxing classes and Muay Thai classes. So I came, and I never forget the first day that I walked into the gym, and I was like, what the hell is this place? Like, what's going on in this place? Going from fancy gyms to Fight City was a big change for me.
Yeah.
So I started training with Jimmy for 6-7 months. I took some privates, and I did some sessions. And on Wednesday nights, there was the Jiu-Jitsu no-gi class, and there was MMA class. So Ben literally forced me to one of the classes. And I'll never forget my first Jiu-Jitsu class. I had no idea what I was doing. Tommy was trying to teach us how to an armbar. I got paired up with this really young guy, which I've never seen him again back then. And he was looking at me like, you don't know anything. What are you doing here? So it was very upsetting because I'm a perfectionist. I wanted to make sure that whatever he teaches, I can actually execute. Absolute failure. I couldn't do anything. And I said to Ben, I was like, Ben, I hate this. He was like, no, you have to practice. You got to do a bit more. So I did the MMA class after as well. So for a few weeks, we did this Jiu-Jitsu MMA class. And I remember the guy who was teaching the class, he came to me one day and I said, go and do Jiu-Jitsu. Your grappling technique is much better than anything else. Somebody was trying to be kind to say, you just try to kick in. just do grappling. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna join the Friday classes. And I think I struggled a bit. I think I got a bit intimidated at first because I was like, you know, I found it a bit awkward at the beginning. But I booked some private sessions with Tommy, and after that, I was hooked in. It was game on. It was training 6 days a week, and got myself a gi. Started doing Alan's classes, Tommy's classes, some of Sarah's classes, and yeah, I've been training for just 1 year and 2 months.
Okay.
Before this crazy madness, I got my blue belts.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, you did. Yeah, you did.
and I'm sure you still remember my dance. I mean, I was so excited.
Sim's gunning for you. Can see in her eyes. You're like, bitch, are you going to believe me? I'm coming after you.
I went to the changing room.
As soon as you mentioned blue belt, her eyes are like,
Blue belt.
No, I was so proud when Hani got the blue belt. It was such a good moment for the team, because I think the girls in our team, they're quite close, and we all help each other. And before Hani was training for the Euros, we put a lot of effort in together. So I felt like it was well deserved, and yeah, I felt very proud.
I have to admit, the support. I think when I started, it was the classes that I used to go to. It was only me, so I found that's why I found it challenging. And I remember I said to Ben, I was like, Ben, I would love to do the class, but there's no girls. And he said to me, if you don't join the class, no other girl will do it. And then after a few months, I met Emma and Yolanda, who they've been going on different days.
Yolanda!
Yeah.
We need to get on here sometime.
We have to. And then Sim joined, and then Sylvie was training as well. So I felt like I had an amazing support from the girls and obviously the guys. And when I went to compete, Sim was like, no pressure, but I'll be watching your match. I'm floor grappling, and I was so nervous. But yeah, when I got my blue belt, I felt like that is game on, and this is something I want to commit to for as long as I can. So yeah.
And Sim, where do you go?
I kind of stumbled into it. I didn't even know what jiu-jitsu was when I kind of started. We at work, we have a free gym, like any office in the city. And there was a boxing class, and I'd never done it before. So I joined, loved it. And then I thought, where can I do more boxing? And then I found Fight City just down the road from my office. I went there, and I thought, why not, go to an MMA class, as you do. And I went there, and it was I can only repeat what Hani said. Like, it's so intimidating. It's like the testosterone is like dripping from the walls. It's a proper, it's more of an MMA kind of environment, where I've been to some other jiu-jitsu places, and there it's very pure Brazilian jiu-jitsu in the gi. It's a very different atmosphere.
Yeah.
So I felt really intimidated. I was sitting in the changing room, not quite sure if I was actually going to come out. And then I did this MMA class, and I really liked it. But I realized I don't know any of the basics. I can't do boxing. I can't do Muay Thai. I can't do grappling. So I thought, you need to get something right first. And then I went to a jiu-jitsu class and absolutely loved it. I didn't think I would, because it looked really scary what they were doing there. I mean, like, you have all these knots of people on the floor rolling around. I got no clue.
Sweaty men hugging each other.
Yes, but that was the other thing that for me was really weird at the beginning. At first class, it's like, okay, let's start in closed guard, and suddenly I'm on the floor on my back, and I've got my legs spread with some random guy in between my legs, and I'm thinking, okay, I
don't know what to say, but that is the reality.
That is what it is. That is what it is, and I was really, it is what it is, and I thought, wow, that position is usually reserved for my husband, but but then they start trying to choke you out, and then you realize you just got to defend yourself, and you get over it very quickly. And that was that.
Within the first 5 minutes, you're like, this is weird.
Doesn't matter.
The next thing, you're like, oh shit, this guy's going to choke me out.
Yeah.
Well, going back to what Sid said, that's the first thing I get asked about my male friends. It's like, oh, don't you find it so sexual? And I'm like, jiu-jitsu is everything but sexual. You just have to.
Anything but sexual.
Somebody's trying to choke you out. Somebody's trying to tap you out, lock you in a position that he can't get out, and you have to find a way out. So I think, to me, jiu-jitsu is an absolute human chess game. You have to have the strategies. You have to think about, okay, what can I use now? What kind of techniques can I use to actually defend my opponent? So when they ask me questions like that, makes me so angry, because would a guy go to another guy and say, oh, don't you find jiu-jitsu sexual? So I think I hate this persona that's around girls or training jiu-jitsu, and then why do girls do jiu-jitsu? So I always have this thing about, you know.
Go on,
like,
let it out. It's the Hangry show.
I ask you that question, right? They don't do jiu-jitsu, right? They don't understand it.
Yeah,
because
they have no idea what it is.
Ask you, like, do you find it sexual? No, like, no.
Let me choke you, and then I'll tell you if it's not, not in bed. But let me choke you out, and I'll tell you.
You gotta be careful who you got in front of you there.
Yes, I know. but I think going to myself is like, I'm coming from, been in UK for 20 years, but I was raised in a culture, in the Eastern culture, that certain things are a no-go for a girl. So I've always been rebellious in terms of breaking the norm. I never wanted to be confined to what the society thinks is good for me, or as a woman I should do or shouldn't do. So I think jiu-jitsu is definitely one of them, or martial arts is definitely one of them. I remember like years ago when I was doing boxing, I came home one day with a black eye, and my dad was with us, and he said, what's happened to your face? And I said, oh, just boxing. And he was like, why? And my mom turned around immediately and said, why not? And I was like,
walked off, yeah.
And I just walked off. So I think jiu-jitsu, I think it's very important for girls. And I think it's a gender-specific sport. I generally don't think it is. But I think it's very important for girls to train some sort of a martial art sport. If it could be boxing, Muay Thai, or jiu-jitsu, because it gives so many girls the confidence and to be aware of where they are, if they're out in a pub, club, on a street, and they have an awareness of their situation that they're in, at least to know that if anything happens, they don't need to win it, but they can actually stop the situation and run away. Or
buys you like 5-10 seconds of time. That's enough for you to run. And
that's exactly. So I think since I started doing this, I literally told everybody, especially girls, I'm like, come on, you got to give this a go. So far I've been successful with few, and with others are like, no way. Because it's very taxing on the body. It's, as Sim said, you get locked in some funny positions that you're like, okay, I don't know this guy, but let me wrap my legs around your waist and choke you with my arms. So it's funny, but to me, it's the best thing I've tried in life. It's the best thing. It gives me a sense of fulfillment. I feel that I've achieved something. I have my good days and I have my bad days, and it feels like it's something that builds a character. You know, and
it must be I mean, even from a guy's perspective, when you first start, it is weird because you are hugging another sweaty man. But like you said, within the next few minutes, you can't think of anything else apart from just defending and just staying alive and not getting your bones broken and getting choked. I mean,
but that point that you're just making about you can't think about anything else, I think that's what I like the most about it, because every moment of my life I do 5 different things. I listen to the radio, I work, I'm on a train, I order my avocado. I always do 5 different things, and your mind never really switches off. So for me it's in a weird way, I would call it even mindfulness, because it's the only moment in my life where I really focus only on one thing. If I'm sparring with someone, my mind doesn't go off to be like, oh damn, forgot to add toilet paper to the shopping, or like, it doesn't happen. You're fully in there, that's all you're doing.
Toilet paper,
which is
there is no toilet paper. COVID-19.
But but you know, for me, it's go in there and I forget about everything else.
There's no time in any, like a realistic role. When we start rolling, there's no chance of anyone thinking anything apart from defending or attacking.
Yeah.
Or thinking, oh God, who am I going to get paired up with? Yeah, it's just the only thing. But I think it also gives you a great sense of belonging to something as well. I think if I was reading about this a while ago, if you look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, belonging sits at the very essential part of the hierarchy. And I think it motivates people to, in order to want to belong to a group, to grow, it motivates you to change your attitude, change your behavior, and be different and be better. So I think all in all, jiu-jitsu.
This comes back to, I agree with you, but this all comes back to who's leading the pack.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, Alan Pauls was our professor instructor, right? And the way he runs things, the way he looks at things, it's, how would you put it? Structured, but not super restrictive.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he sees, I don't know, the way he sees it and the way he runs the whole thing, it's for everyone. He wants to create this vibe and community feel.
Mm.
But at the same time, imagine we had like a bad instructor. This would still be going on. We'll breed more idiots further down the road, right?
And you know what I love about Alan and his classes, apart from the way he teaches, is it's the special attention he pays to girls. I was speaking to one of the girls that she does jiu-jitsu in Australia yesterday. Just we got into conversation about different players, different competitors, and I said to her, like, so what is it like for you guys to train over there? And she said, I hate our MMA coach. Our jiu-jitsu coach is amazing, but our MMA coach, it's so sexist. If any of the guys do anything to us, we can't complain, because if you complain, you don't get to train. Or if they're being aggressive towards us, or if they are being stupid or applying pressure instead of techniques, we can't complain, because if we do, they'll be like, okay, you're moaning, you're out. But Alan's amazing. Like even Sarah, like before competition, it was like, you're competing, you train at a different side. And if any of the guys were sparring with me, he's like, she's competing, make sure you don't injure her. And he's really aware of, physicals, like, it's up to, you can have all the strength, but let's face it, some of us, we can't, I still get tapped out by a white belt. I walked in yesterday because he's physically stronger than me. Exactly. So I think these are the challenges that we face, but I really love the way he conducts his classes and shouts at you to believe in yourself, and shouts my name like all the time in the class. I mean,
I think that's
very encouraging.
I think a lot of other sports, not just jiu-jitsu, we kind of miss this head instructor actually leading the pack. And I think this generation of kids are missing this. They don't have anyone, or have, it's going to get a bit controversial, but they don't have a strong enough role model in their life to push them forward and push them, make them into something, or actually make them see their own potential. It's too tippy-toey nowadays. I don't know. That's my personal perspective. This is why Alan and Sarah, they're doing a great job of running this thing.
And Tommy, I mean,
but Tommy and
he's a prodigy of, yes, exactly.
A prodigy. It's like, it's what they become, isn't it? You see that. I mean, we're going to talk about these things. I mean, you have to talk about young Malik.
Yeah, he's on his way up.
That kid is a phenom for somebody that young, and the way the whole ZR is not just Alan, I mean the whole team ZR bring this kid up, like this young man. Well, I keep calling him a kid, but this young man up, he's going to go somewhere.
He's like, how old is he? Is he like
17? 17, 18?
16, 17, 17, I think. Yeah. I mean, the kid's like a sponge for jiu-jitsu knowledge.
Yeah, he lives and breathes jiu-jitsu. Like, he trains how many hours a day?
I think he lives in the gym.
Sorry, what was that?
I think he lives in the gym. Does he?
His time is split between the gym and the college. He applies himself on both sides. This is what a lot of people don't realise. He's not just working at the gym.
No, I didn't know. I just literally thought he just lives in the gym because he's always
exactly. He lives at the gym. Or college work at the gym, and then that's all he spends his time. He splits his hours between the two.
That's so hard, isn't it?
I mean,
I love the dedication that you can do that you really apply yourself to, your studies plus your training and, what's important to you, because it's a lot of sacrifice to do that in other areas of your life. So, to have that sort of endurance and passion and commitment is amazing at 17.
Then there's the guidance then, isn't it? I mean, it always goes back to guidance of people who've been there before you. Like Alan and Sarah have been there before them and guiding this young man. Tommy's guiding him, his own brother. Right? Amar's like strict on him. He's strict on his little brother. Definitely strict on him.
he's lucky to have such a good influences around him. His brother Alan, Sarah, Tommy. I think think about it. Kids at that age, especially teenagers, if they're not pushed towards the right direction. I mean, it's good that he goes to college, but he can easily meet up with you hear about stories of kids joining gangs and then one thing leads to another thing and they're arrested or they get involved in some sort of criminal activity. So I think the fact that he does that, well done to him. And I can definitely see that him going a long way. I mean, it's just the beginning of his career.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Sim, you all right?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, just chilling here. Just chilling here.
Where's the cat?
Then,
Twan, I've got, okay, this outs me as crazy cat lady, but I got 3. But I don't know where any of them are.
They kind of left you alone.
Yeah, I think they're sleeping. They sleep a lot. So now that we're home a lot, we realize how much they actually sleep. I think a dog would be better. But yeah, I'm gonna tell.
Anyone can get hold of a dog. I'll be in.
Let's go back to the jiu-jitsu and the female thing. I mean, we're going to have to talk about the female jiu-jitsu. We're going to have to talk about Tony.
Amazing inspiration. I love that girl. Literally, every time I spar with it, I'm like, okay, where is she now? Oh, she's behind me. Oh, where is she now? She's choking me. She's amazing. I always had, when I first joined the team, I always had decent conversation in changing room with her saying, Tony, I don't know what's happening to me. I get tapped out every 2 minutes. I didn't learn anything. But she was like, that's absolutely normal. Just keep at it. Continue. Do it.
Well, do you two find it a little bit different when you see her? So she would train one style during training. And when she rolls on spar, she would do one style. But when you watch her fight in competition, she just lets everything go and just go like 100%.
That's her style.
Yeah.
I think it's the best thing. She said to me, she was like, I don't waste anything. I hate to just tap and then just go from one foot to another. I just go for it straight away. And I think not giving your opponent that chance to think and be aggressive in the way you approach it's perfect. And I've been watching one of her games like a few nights ago. She's amazing. She is
straight for the legs, straight for the back,
straight for the neck.
Yeah, she's.
Sim, you going to compete soon?
I've been thinking about it. The thing is, I've only trained for 6 months, and out of those 6 months, I was off because I was sick for a while, and now I'm off again, and I can't train. So out of the 6 months, maybe it's less than actually, maybe it's 4.5 that I actually trained. So I don't feel quite ready yet, but I don't know. If Alain or Sarah tell me go do this, I'll do it.
I'm sure.
Honey keeps trying to convince me to do it.
Experience. The way they see it is just experience. Just do it.
I think you should do it. I don't think there'll ever be a time that you think like you wake up one day and like, okay, I've been training jiu-jitsu for 8 months and 9 days, and today feels right for me to compete or to join a competition. I think you should do it. I've done 2, and I can't wait to go back to training. And as soon as I go back to training, I'm just going to sign up for something. I'm going to get tapped out within probably 30 seconds being blue belt and new to it, but why not?
Why not?
You learn so much from it. I mean, personally, in terms of, I've learned a lot from my Europeans, how to train, how to eat, how to calm down my nerves. It's perfect. But I think white belt should definitely go for it. 100%.
Yeah.
Did you do
it's definitely on the list for this year, definitely.
Good.
Did either of you do any other sport apart from jiu-jitsu or compete in any other sport?
I used to do ballet quite a bit when I was younger, and I did it quite seriously. But it was something that I wasn't really passionate about. I just grew up doing, and I did it for so long, and I was decent at it. But it's, you can't really do it competitively, but when you start, doing
shows,
like I was just thinking, what do you call it in English? But it's like a show. Is it like doing like a ballet show? When you start doing that sort of thing, like it's a lot of training. So and at a certain age, you just don't want to go to school and then train another 4 hours afterwards. So it kind of fell over a little bit. And I have to say,
I miss them days. I have to be honest. I miss going to school and then coming home and just train for hours.
Yeah, and so, well, I didn't quite enjoy that. And I think it was also because I wasn't really passionate about ballet. It was just something that was there in my life. And now that I found jiu-jitsu, this is the first time ever I found a sport that I'm actually passionate about. So everything I've done since ballet was always like, you gotta exercise, you gotta move. You know, my aim was always, when I'm 90, I still want to be able to, you know, make it to the bathroom by myself. So that was the goal, really. So I did yoga and running and all that sort of stuff, but I never liked it. And now with jiu-jitsu, is the first time ever I found something where I'm like, yeah, this is awesome. And it's not a chore to train for me. I don't have to convince myself or talk myself into it. It's not like with running, I have to do it first thing in the morning or I don't do it. It's something where, like, literally, I hope no one from work watches this video, but like my boss turns around and I run off to the gym, you know? So it's literally like that. So I feel really grateful. I'm a little bit gutted that I didn't find it earlier in life. That it took me so long to find it, but you know, it is what it is, and I'll enjoy it now.
Yeah. Do you remember that day that you sent me a text and said Claudia's here? I was in the office working, and then I thought it's Monday. So I thought it's Monday. I had a long weekend, so I'm like, I'm gonna miss today, and I was like, not gonna go. It's not gonna happen. And then I got a text from Sim saying, "Honey, Claudia's here," and I was like, "Claudia," and she was like, "Claudia Doval." And I was working on my laptop. I shut down my laptop, turned around, said to a friend, and I said, "I'm going to a very important meeting. I'll be back in about an hour and a half." I jumped in a taxi. I got on the mat, and I literally was like, "Hi, I'm here," and she was like, "She's on the mat," and it was the best thing. And I think, and going back to what Sim said, I think that when I was younger, I used to swim a lot. I used to play volleyball, basketball. In Iran, you get 3 months of summer holidays, like 3 months that you're off. 3 months. You study, I think it's June, July time. Yeah, you get 3 months.
3 months.
Perfect. And my mom, I think after the first year or second year, she signed up to this like camps that she used to like shift us there from 9 a.m. till 5 p.m. every day. And then part of those camps they offered was you do swimming one day, basketball, volleyball, everything apart from football, from like knitting, you name it. So you were good knitting. I'm an absolute professional knitter.
No, I'm not. Like, but I don't see that as like a physical activity. I mean,
no, but it was a mixture of things. It was like there was a camp that you exercise, you read about things, you even prepare for your studies next year. So it was like you go to school and it's like, yeah, it was like fully.
Supposedly it's good for mental health, no? Knitting.
I think it's good for mental health. Like my mom didn't want to have 2 kids in the house moaning and crying throughout summertime. So she was like, there you go, kids. Bye. 3 months in. But I did all sorts of different exercise and activities all my life. But jiu-jitsu is the only thing. When I wake up on Monday, I'm like, do I need my gi or do I need my rash guard? And it's something that I look forward to.
Both.
I hope nobody's watching this from Vice City. I've got 2 gis and 2 of 3 rash guards in the gym still locked in there. So I swap them around. Once I use one gi, I'll take one home, wash this, and bring. There's always something new in my locker, and you know.
Like fresh gis, or they've been used?
No, fresh gis.
All right, I thought you mean like
No, I think instead of carrying things every day, I just check everything on Monday, leave in the gym, and by Friday empty, then just renew it. So that's the best thing about jiu-jitsu. You don't have to go out of your way or force yourself or encourage yourself or trick your mind to let's go and train, as opposed to like going for runs and do other things.
Yes. Even if Claudia's not on the mat.
Even if Claudia's not
I
on the mat.
didn't get to roll her. How was she when you guys rolled?
She was amazing. She was very smooth. She had amazing leg control. She submitted me like, obviously, like within 15 seconds, tap, tap. She was very like graceful. And then she was giving me tips on afterwards. She was like, if I triangle you, why don't you do this? And she was amazing. She was very encouraging, and I had a good chat with her. And I said, what's the trick? And she was like, consistency. Like Alan said to me like months ago.
Alan saying
like,
this.
Yeah. She was like, you have your good days, you have your bad days. She said when she was blue belt, she didn't feel like she was progressing that much. But when she hit her purple belt, she just flew off, and then she was competing.
That's what a few people say. I've been hearing that from a few more higher belts. Once you hit purple, you go on a massive spike in knowledge. You kind of understand it even more really quickly, right?
Yeah, but I think because it's assumed that you
got the
essentially
basics.
locked in your white belt days for about a month to a year to a year and a half. And I think with blue belts, you're there for 2 to 3 years minimum. So you pick up a lot of skills. And once you go to purple, it's your belt, it's your ranking, and all those responsibilities and new knowledge that you just have to pick up as fast as you can.
Well, so what is the responsibility with a belt? Because I've heard this before when Yolanda got her blue belt recently, and you know,
Yolanda!
I know. Our girl, and she said to me afterwards, she said immediately she felt the weight of the responsibility of the blue belt, and I thought, wow, the belt responsibility.
You feel that for a week or two, and then I think the worry is you're going to get tapped out by a white belt. I think to me it's just a color belt.
Oh my God, that's the thing, because you got a target on your head as soon as you go for an upgrade.
Oh my God.
All the white belts are gunning for you, and all the purple and brown belt like, oh, let's test this new blue belt, and they're coming for you.
So the first day that I got my blue belt, I rolled with a blue belt, a purple belt, a brown belt, and 2 black belts. I just wanted to cry. Yeah. I was shattered.
But how much fun was it though? That must have been fun.
I enjoy it. No matter how many times I get tapped out, especially with high belts, I actually enjoy it. I'm like, okay, I've learned something. And when I was 3 or 4 months into my training, I remember there was this guy. I mean, I'm not going to mention any names. And I remember we were sparring together, and I hated him because it got to the point that I realized he's using strength over me than muscle and better than technique. And I was like, you won't do that to another guy. You're only doing this to me because you think you see I'm a girl, and you think you're better than me because you got the strength. So it took me 4 months to tap him out. But the day that I did, I was like, my job here is done. And I felt amazing. So I think the responsibility that Yolanda referred to is like, oh, what if I'm going to get tapped out by white belt? What if you do?
I got tapped out my first round as a blue belt. I got rid of that straight away, didn't I? I knew. That was it was a experience.
Yeah,
it was an experience. Didn't expect it, but you kind of expected it.
Hani, do you feel though, because what you just said about the strength aspect, and if I look at you and me, we're always the smallest in the class, right? We're always the lightest. We're always the girls. And I feel like a lot of the time people are using their strength on us, but it is what it is. But it kind of makes me more determined to learn the technique better, because I know that's the only thing that's going to save me going forward. So I wonder if, that makes you progress quicker.
To be honest with you, I didn't want to complain about this because I don't want to come as if I'm whining. And I mentioned that to Tommy a couple of times. And if you look at Tommy, he's very light and he is not the biggest, but his techniques are amazing. And if you look at the concept of jiu-jitsu itself, it's literally a way of a smaller person using techniques and strategy to tap out a bigger, heavier opponent. So that's the philosophies behind it. But having said that, I've struggled, and mentally and physically, by being rolling against guys, especially during my first few months of training, because there was no other girls. Emma and Yolanda used to train together because they've known each other for some time. They've been training together for 2 years. And I always ended up sparring with somebody else. Within 10 seconds, the guy was choking me because he has stronger arms. And he was so frustrating. And in some cases, I went to a guy and said, by the way, what's your weight? He's like, oh, I'm 85. And I'm like, cool, I'm 64. So it's challenging, but it made me more determined in terms of how I want to train. I think that's what I said to you, like jiu-jitsu builds your character. It determines that, are you a type of a person you're going to learn from this failure of some sort? You're going to accept it, move on from it, and come back to it again? Or are you going to accept defeat? That you say, it's not for me, you're going to walk out. For me, it's definitely made me tougher. Maybe you want to learn a lot faster. Learn techniques. I always go to Tommy and say, Tommy, how can I use this against that person? Or how can I use this technique against the other person? And he always laughs at me. He's like, honey, you should be looking at this way. But I'm like, I know, but that guy is like, he's very strong, and he's doing this to me. And he's like, even if you get caught in close guard, use his techniques. So I think he has encouraged me, and he has definitely helped me against girls. So when I spar with girls, minus Tony, because she has experience behind her. But when I spar against girls, I feel like I'm perfect, like conditioning, and I'm grateful to train with guys. that, you know, it might be tough. I have my good days and I have my bad days. But let's face it, when I tap a guy out, that's the feeling is amazing. It's like
the first time you make someone tap is pretty amazing. I remember the first time I made a guy who was a lot bigger than me tap, and I thought, who also wasn't a newbie. So I mean, he was also white belt, but he wasn't a newbie. He had more experience than me, and that was pretty amazing.
The feeling, it's amazing. It's like, yes.
Yeah. But for me, it's when I find jiu-jitsu very humbling, and for me, it's sparring with a guy that is, you know, got 20 kilos on me, is 10 years younger than me, has potentially more experience, and is bigger and stronger. But if he doesn't get me to tap, I'm already happy, because I feel like I defended, and I wasn't easy to take down, and I'm already happy with that.
Yeah,
so if I spar with Bruce or something and I'm not tapping, I'm happy.
Yeah, I think it's having realistic expectations. When I started, I used to get tapped out in every round of 5 minutes. I used to tap out, I kid you not, every 30 seconds. And it got to the point that I wasn't tapping out. I wasn't winning, but I could defend, and I could defend myself in certain positions. And then I remember one of the guys was like, I've been trying to take you back for like 5 minutes. And I was like, but he didn't. So to me, that's a win. To me, it's like, it's great. Yeah. But having said that...
It wasn't that long ago, right?
Yeah. And having said that, there have been some amazing guys. There have been some idiots and assholes that have sparked over the past, like not the regulars, like the one-off guy that comes in, I want to do jiu-jitsu here and there. There have been some guys, but then I have to admit that there have been some amazing guys in our team, black belts, blue belts, purple belts. I've learned so much from them. And I felt like if I went to any of them and say, hey, how am I supposed to do this? They've come back to me and said, you should do this and that. So I think it's a great, amazing community at Fight City and with our team, and everybody's been great, and I think I've been lucky enough to train with really amazing people. So
what would you say, right? This sounds like a promo now. For girls who want to take up jiu-jitsu or fight sport in an environment like Fight City.
Just do it. They don't pay your membership. You don't owe anything to anyone. Just do it. Do it for yourself. It's the best thing you've probably done it. It's amazing experience.
Tim?
Yeah. I think you need to maybe overcome a few internal hurdles like I did when I came. I was so intimidated. I was so scared. There was a pretty high chance I wasn't going to come out of that changing room and just go straight back out. But I did, and I came back after that. Actually, the first time I came to jiu-jitsu, Tommy was teaching a guillotine, and I couldn't quite get it right. And he was like, "Let me do it on you, and then you can, you see what it feels like." You know how Tommy is. Like once it's like immediately it's on, and my own bad. I didn't know I was supposed to tap. So he kept on choking and choking and choking, and eventually he let go. But it was so hard that it was painful to swallow for at least a week, you know. And I still came back after that. And for me, it's worth it. But I think you either love it or you don't, you know. And I can see how it's not for everyone. Not everyone enjoys this sort of exercise, and it takes a lot from you. You know, it's very humbling. It's nothing that you get good at real quick or something, you know, like you really gotta put in the time and effort and spend time on the mat and accept defeat. And it's as Hani said, it's character building. But I think if you're up for that and if you enjoy it, then yeah, definitely do it. Don't let anyone intimidate you or think you look silly or you can't do this, because we've all been there. We've all been to the first warm-up session and people started doing like back rolls and shrimps, and I was standing there like, I remember walking up there and I was saying to myself, I can't do this, and I said it out loud, and Allah heard it, and he looked at me and he was like, I never want you to say this again, you can do it. And he showed me how to do it in front of everyone. I was a bit embarrassed about it. I did it because it's true, you know, we've all been there, and no one will ever laugh about it. Anything anyone does. This
is why I like the higher belts. We've been through this, and have a little bit more experience. We all got choked out by silly mistakes, haven't they? We've all done silly shrimping that it looks like, I don't know whatever it looks like.
Yeah, I'm still there.
But we've all been there. We've all been choked out. We've all done something stupid in jiu-jitsu. But that's how you learn, by making stupid mistakes and learn from the stupid mistakes. If we don't learn from it, then you're not really applying this whole...
I think I completely agree with you. And also another thing that I've noticed as well, from my personal experience, is I think it's important for girls that are actually in that class to be more supportive of the newcomers. Every time, like sometimes when I go to classes, I used to get paired up with different people, then it was fine. But if there was a brand new girl that I could see that they feel a bit intimidated or uncomfortable, I've always volunteered to pair up with them. And I'm like, why don't you try this? And I remember my first session, I had no idea what I was doing. So if they feel a bit embarrassed or they keep asking questions, I'm like, hey, this is absolutely normal. I was even worse than you on my first day. So I think it's important for girls to stick together, not necessarily not trying to segregate
I know what you mean.
boys together, but I think it's good for girls to, like,
this whole grappling jiu-jitsu thing, just to ease them in a bit. I definitely agree with you, because I think it's going to be a little bit different for guy. Even if the guy did the same thing, you'll still feel a bit more intimidation. Guy doing it, right?
Yeah.
You try to be a bit more helpful with it.
I think So that's it. But I think it's a good team spirit between girls. I think generally with guys, but I think there's few of us that.
I think the girls are good and tight. And
amazing.
I'm liking it.
Definitely. We just need more girls.
Yeah, I mean at Ballum they got a girls class, right?
I think they
were thinking about doing that at Fight City as well. When I was talking to Mateus, and he was like, if Nina comes in, I'm gonna get them to do a girls only class, which is great. I think it will encourage more people to join, but I'll still go to like mixed classes, my normal classes as well. I think it's very important to train with guys.
You have to go stick with a mixed class. The all girls class is good. It's ultimately like the mixed classes. I think you're going to portray that image and help all the future up and comers. They don't need to just be in a girl environment.
It's just like, we're too soft to train with guys. I don't think so. There are some amazing. Like she's amazing. Every time I watch her like roll around with guys, I'm like, who's she gonna pick this time? Rest in peace. She's amazing.
It was my game every time.
She's like, it's like she's amazing. Like, and she's a woman. And every time like we sit in the corner, she's like, girls, join in, mix them with the guys. We're like, we're taking some time off. And I think her attitude towards training is insane. And I remember like we're training, and I think Yolanda hurt her finger, and she was sat at the corner, and then she was like, Yolanda, why you sat down here? And she was like, I've injured my finger. And she was like, how many more do you have? And she was like, 9. She was like, jump in. And I was like, I just love this woman. She doesn't take shit from anyone. And, you need to have those kind of role models as a woman. So I think we're very lucky. We have Alan, we have Sarah, we have Tommy. So
bring the balance of the whole team.
It's true. It's a good mix in terms of role models, isn't it?
Yeah.
That is really important. Yeah.
Yeah, but Sarah she's amazing.
I'm sure, Annie, you've been there, because we talked about this before. When you start rolling with Sarah, she just shut your game down from every single angle. You're just to a point where you're like,
you might as well give in.
It's too fun. Are you sure you want to do that? I'm like, no.
He's like, are you sure you want to grab this? I'm like, I don't know. She was like, okay, just carry on, continue. I'll say something funny. That's
the worst bit. When she's like, oh yeah, just carry on. You're like, I don't want to now.
Then 5 seconds later, you're like, no, the best one was like when Alan gave me my blue belt. I think he gave it to me on Friday, and then on Saturday when we came to the class, I didn't see her. When he got to sparring time, she came in, and then she looked at me, and she looked at Alan. Alan was like, yeah, she's got a blue belt. And Sarah was like, come. And I was like, I was like, sure. Within 5 seconds, I got wrist locked. And the next 5 minutes, to me, it felt like 5 years. And it was a combination of wrist lock, tap. And she was like, welcome to us. Welcome to being a blue belt. And I was like, thank you so much. She was like, I didn't get to whip you, so that's your turn. And she's amazing.
Like, I want my blue belt now.
But when every time I spar with her, when I get it, when I spar with her, she's like, "You sure you want to do this? Do you think it's a good position for you?
Yeah.
Do you really want to use this guard?" And I'm like, I literally, I'm so like helpless. I'm like, I don't know
That really confuses you, doesn't it?
Okay.
No, but she's great.
Tim, have you
She's
gone with Sarah or Alan?
No, never.
Oh.
Never. On my list to do for this year.
Oh, you'll get there. Alan's like an anaconda.
Alan's good. Alan's very good.
Alan's like an anaconda. It's no joke. Every single time you move, he tightens up again.
Mm.
You move your head to your right, he tightens up again. You move a little bit more to the right. Every single time you do anything, he just rocks. It's not even a joke.
Isn't it amazing how Jiu-Jitsu allows you to build your own personal style and techniques? Like, everybody's different from everybody else. Like, certain people are so aggressive, certain people are very slow, and then just take their time and then tap you out.
So this comes to personality. I mean, me and Tommy was talking about. Your personality comes through in Jiu-Jitsu.
Oh,
yeah, I agree.
That's a good point.
Like the people who like to use power, their personality is quite out there as well. And the people who like reserve and really chill, that shows it in their Jiu-Jitsu games.
Oh, interesting.
No?
Interesting.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
It's true.
Yeah, we'll go on to that next time. But Sim, when you roll with Alan and Sarah, then we'll do another show. We'll talk about it next time and we'll see how you feel.
Yes. Yeah.
God, I'm so lucky. I've rolled with like Sarah a couple of times, Alan a couple of times, and literally from time to time, all the black belts are like, "We need somebody to warm up with, honey." I'm like,
they're calling you out.
For me, it's a privilege. Let's be honest about this.
Hey, look at Singapore. Yeah. We get called out every single time we train. Big up Singapore, Andre.
I know.
So, hey, now we're talking about around. We can't not talk about food.
Food.
Where is the first place you go to eat out once you're out of this lockdown? I thought about it so many times.
I haven't thought about it yet.
Oh my God, you had a month. You had a month.
So actually today is day 25 for me of lockdown. And I have not thought, like, all I know is what I said to my husband was like, once this is over, we're going out every night. I don't care. We're out in the city, we're drinking, we're eating. I don't care. But I haven't really thought, I really want to go there or anything.
I'm craving on the Bab. The minute I'm out, I'm going to go to On the Bab in Shoreditch. I'm going to order a portion of tteokbokki and spiced chicken and rice. And I'm going to enjoy that. I've been craving it for weeks on end. I used to have it like every week after training on Fridays.
Right. We're going to go down that route. There's two things we need to do. So I was talking to Jason. Me and him haven't been for dim sum since November because of this situation, right? That's the longest I haven't had a dim sum for like probably my entire life, right? Mm-hmm. And then we're going to go. There's a Turkish place I need to go. We have to drive. We'll just get a few cars. I'm sure everyone's going to jump in. We'll just.
What is it called?
Gayusu. I think Ali calls it Gayusu or Gaikusu. It's a Turkish place.
Where is it?
It's real. It's a party place. I mean, it's a place where you can be loud. It's not one of them restaurants you can't be loud in. You can be loud. It's quite good. So big long tables. I think we need to do one of them big gathering.
You can't go wrong with Turkish. That's why I love the food.
Where's that? Sorry? Hani?
I said I love Turkish food.
Yeah.
Training.
But we're talking about food.
Oh, we're going to talk about food. We're definitely talking about food now.
Yeah.
I don't know because I've been watching a few travel food video. And I'm like, what?
I mean, luckily I'm a great chef. So when it comes to Iranian food, I know how to make most of the Iranian food, and especially being in lockdown, my mom was like, maybe I should teach you this. Maybe you should come and learn how to make this and that. So I barely go to any Iranian restaurants out in London. I used to go many years ago, but not anymore. But for me, it's like Turkish food or Lebanese, Turkish, Lebanese.
Same.
Yeah.
Sim's like, oh, where should I go?
No, I don't. Do you know what the thing is? Though, like, I mean, I like eating, you know, but like, if you, I think, for example, like obviously dim sum, amazing, and now that you're talking about it, you know, I can, you know, I'm ready to go to Yawacha once this is over. And good.
No.
I love that place. The food is so good.
Did you just go, yo, Hatcha?
I love it. Do you not like it?
No, Kevin was like, this is how you pronounced it. How do you pronounce the name?
I mean, yeah, sorry, yeah. Okay, sorry. How do you pronounce it?
No, it's not the pronunciation. It's like, yo, Hatcha for dim sum?
Yeah, it's good. It's really good.
I've been.
They got a Michelin star. What are you talking about?
Look at the disappointment in his face. Oh God, look at that.
It's good. But there are better places, even in London.
Such as.
Okay, once this is over, like, let's go.
Oh, we are. We're definitely doing this. We're definitely
your favorite dim sum place.
We're going to get the biggest table they've got. We're going to push them all together into 2-3 rows of big tables together in a restaurant.
Will we ever get there, though? Will we ever be out to see those days, to roll, to eat?
It'll happen.
Have faith, right? Have faith.
I have faith.
Food.
I have faith.
So the place I'm on about, me and Jason agree on this as well. There's a place in Canary Wharf, right?
Oh, what is it called?
China. Google it later. Right? It's awesome. It's by the riverside. Hopefully we'll be out for this summer. So there's outdoor sitting, riverside food, chill, bit of breeze. Yeah. And they got some of the best dim sum in London. That's me and Jason's opinion.
Yes.
Old upcoming.
595 TripAdvisor reviews. It looks good.
Looks good, right?
God, why are you doing this to me? Why are you doing this to me?
Maybe you can order some dim sum by Deliveroo, honey.
No. God. I'm not that brave. Jesus, you're brave.
So has anybody ordered any takeaway food during this pandemic?
Yeah, I'm actually getting Indian tonight.
But have you done it before? Is it your first time?
No. We've ordered. This is the thing. Like you said, you're good at cooking and all that sort of stuff. So in my household, not so much.
Oh, God.
So yeah.
What a waste of the kitchen.
So quiet. Why are you so quiet?
It's just embarrassing. I think this is cultural because I'm German. So I was brought up to be a Hausfrau, you know, to cook and all those sort of things. And I was taught how to do it. Right. I can make, you know, like a Sauerbraten and a Schweinshaxe and Knödel and all that sort of stuff.
Definitely, that's what we had like a few nights ago.
Yeah, not very vegan friendly, so I don't.
Oh yes, forgot you're the vegan.
He's vegan.
Yeah. So, and then also I hate cooking. I really hate it. Some people love it. I just really hate it.
Master chef over the last few weeks.
Oh my God,
Jamie Oliver's got nothing on me right now.
Are you gonna share like some pictures of what you're making later on? You should.
I should maybe.
You should. Oh, I love to cook. It's the best form of de-stressing. Cooking and baking. I think I'm doing a carrot cake tomorrow, and on tomorrow Saturday. Yes, I still know what day of the week it is. And on Monday, I'm gonna do French apple tart, which I will send you the picture.
That'll be an interesting one to do.
But it's the butter and sugar that goes into every single cake. That is like, the recipe says, stick in 175. And I'm like, I'm going to stick 50. And as you mix the mixture, you're like, what does it look funny?
Don't go cheap on the butter.
No.
Yeah, you really got to stick with the measurements and stuff for baking.
Guys, if you stick with the measurements, you won't just like buy cakes.
I'm short on all the time is the sugar. I don't use sugar.
I always do brown sugar. Dark brown sugar, so the sugar is not the thing.
I need sugar sometimes used as a raisin agent, don't you? As a yeast feeder.
Oh.
So that's why you still need that in there. Sucks. There's no sugar in my house, so.
No sugar in your house?
Ooh, I won't buy sugar.
I don't have sugar, to be honest. I mean, we don't cook, so I'd be surprised if there was sugar.
Okay.
But yeah, we've got a lot of ready-made meals frozen.
Let's say what?
So it's Indian food tonight. Kevin, what are you having tonight for dinner? Or for food?
Okay, tonight,
Ladies and gentlemen.
So, I have let's see, I'm going to translate this. Is a dry ginger chicken thing I'm doing.
Oh.
Yeah, it's marinated now for like at least 24 hours on there.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You're gonna
Sorry? Sim?
That's proper stunning. Like, you planned this.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not even joking when I said Jamie Oliver's got nothing on me. I've done, this is planned out. This chicken's planned out 2 nights.
I gotta get my shit together because Hani knows what she's gonna bake next week. And like, you're marinating stuff for like 24 hours. Like, I mean.
Well, think about it. Once we come out of this pandemic, I can bake you whatever you want, and Kevin can cook you whatever you want. This is like a perfect.
Whoa! I didn't say it. Remember, she's a vegan. You know how hard.
I just meant to say, are you gonna make some vegan? Oh, Jamie Oliver has some really good vegan recipes, by the way.
Cool. Good luck to Jamie Oliver feeding you vegan. Oh man.
So what do you have? For Indians, I'm assuming you're gonna order a dish with vegetables and chickpeas and.
Bindi bhaji.
There's onion bhaji, but there's an Indian here in Dulwich and called Ganapati, and they are very, very good, and they have a lot of vegan dishes. So there's like aubergine curries and like.
We're going to talk about curry. You know what we need to do? We need to ask Dippin. Dippin's got a connection with some really amazing restaurant near Shoreditch. He showed me the photos, and it looks lush.
I thought you were gonna say Dippin knows how to cook, and I was like, really? Do you trust his cooking? But
no,
then
not
again,
him cooking, him eating out. I can imagine him eating out.
I think we got a life sorted out for us. Once we get off this COVID, we can do one night of dim sum. We can do Turkish one night. We can do Indian one night, and one Friday I'm just gonna bake tons of cakes. I'm gonna bring it in.
Yeah, you can
think
do
about
that. Definitely do that.
This is it.
I'll do all the eating.
You can have the rice.
You can have the rice.
No, you know what? If we ever do this, I will cook a vegan meal for you. How's that?
There you go.
I like it.
By vegan, I mean it's going to be like vegetarian. Close enough.
Oh, not really.
It'll be all right.
No,
I like that. Don't give in. Stick to what you do. I love people like, oh, I'm vegetarian, but then again, I'm gonna have burger.
That's not vegetarian. That's
no. I think it's very hard not to get tempted by your friends. It's like, oh, never mind, just have this.
Like, Sim's just vegan. I'm fine with that.
Good for you, like literally.
Yeah, it's been a while actually. It's been like over 6 years or something.
Wow.
So
wow.
You kind of get used to it.
What's your reason for being vegan?
For me, it's compassion for animals. So people always ask me, "How is this really difficult with the food or anything?" And I'm like, screw the food. Like, as I said before, I'm not a massive foodie. For me, it's the shoes and the handbags. That's
what you can do about shoes and handbag, or do you not really?
Well, it's getting better than it was 6 years ago. I mean, 6 years was dire. But there are a few brands that you can buy that are vegan, and it's good. It's good stuff. It's quality, and it's made. A lot of it is made out of Pinatex, which is like a pineapple kind of material. So yeah,
that's cool.
Getting there.
I mean,
there's like a lot of brand awareness about
place for veganism in our society now. Even though as much meat and things I'm eating, but there's definitely time people need to rethink the amount of meat they're wasting as well, though.
Yeah.
That's my problem with it. It's people wasting so much.
And overindulgence is like, I think having meat. I can be pescatarian any day.
Yeah.
I miss my meat because I'm Iranian. Come on. I mean, what do we eat? White rice, white saffron rice with chicken or meat.
Yep.
Let me say something funny. My sister, I think a few years ago, it was New Year's Eve. I think it was January. And she was like, okay, I'm going to be vegetarian for the next few weeks just to try something new. And I remember we went to my grandmother's house, and my grandmother made it. If you go to an Iranian household, they don't make only one dish. It has to be 3 or 4, enough food to feed the nation, you know. That's the Iranian style for you. And I remember my grandmother made chicken, meats, like a few different dishes. And my sister sat down and my grandma was like, what are you having? So this is rice. Do you want chicken or meat? And she was like, Grandma, I'm vegetarian. And she was like, you what? She was like, I don't eat meat anymore. She was like, I'll take it as chicken then. Take it as chicken, eat this. And she was like, thanks. So I think in certain cultures, the idea of going vegetarian or even vegan is like, don't be stupid.
I mean, it doesn't really go with the German cuisine either.
Sure, yeah.
But yeah, my
What's the
mom
typical
is.
German cuisine then?
Hmm?
What's the typical German cuisine?
It's a lot of roasts, you know. But there's some, depending on where you are regionally, there's some pasta dishes, like we have our version of mac and cheese, basically, you know.
This is like cheese and cheese.
No, it's like instead of macaronis, we have like spätzle, which is like sort of pasta thing we have with cheese, and then we normally have like fried onions on top.
Yes,
that sounds pretty good.
It's pretty good, yeah. Yeah, my favorite German dish is a German potato soup. I love a potato soup. It's just like my favorite. Where I'm from, in the middle of Germany, from Hesse, we make some good potato soup.
Oh, nice.
Oh. Well, we're gonna have to try that one day.
Yeah, I can make a vegan version.
That's fine. I don't care. I just want to try this.
Yeah, I think it's about the only thing I can cook.
Perfect.
I'm happy.
Perfect.
Yeah. Well, we know where we're gonna go. We know what we're going to eat. We know what we're missing. And we've got a few advice for the up-and-coming BJJ girl of the future. It's been pretty good. I think this is a pretty good little catch-up show today. Appreciate your time for both of you. And
thank you for having us.
Let's do this again. Let's do this again. We need to get the girls in here.
Let's do it after COVID, or I think if it gets a bit longer, let's catch up in a few weeks' time to see how insane we're getting.
Yeah. Well, we're on it on tomorrow night, right? We've got quiz night tomorrow night.
Mr. Tom Hughes is going to be hosting.
Make sure you wear your knees and your belts.
Mr. Red Pants.
Mr. Red Pants. Oh, Tom and his red pants.
He will be on a future episode very soon as well. So we'll be.
And you should get him to wear his red pants while interviewing him.
He actually wanted to wear his red pants for his interview, so yeah, he's in there already. So
perfect.
Okay, thanks for your time, and let's catch up when we catch up.
Sure.
Cool.
Thanks for having us, Kevin. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.